I saw these crochet picture frames online and I decided to try making a few. I'm using this pattern by Doni Speigle. I've included a link in the description if you'd like to try it. The pattern called for using 2-inch rings as the base, but I've seen other patterns that use bracelets, and I have some old bracelets that I never wear, so I thought I'd use those instead. I just had to make a few adjustments in the number of stitches because my bracelets were bigger than 2 inches, but that was convenient anyway because it gave me more space for what I was going to put inside the frames. For the yarn, I chose 2 muted colors and one color that's a more vibrant jewel tone. I chose to make 3 frames because they're so small I thought one would look too lonely by itself on the wall. I decided to paint some watercolor illustrations to put inside the frames, and I really like vintage style in general and vintage cartoons in particular, so I wanted to paint something that looked like a 1930s cartoon but with 1920s fashion. Since the frames are so small, I wanted to paint something small, so I decided to paint bugs. And of all the bugs in the world, I like butterflies the best, so that's what I chose. Everything was going fine until the second illustration. I drew the legs and some other parts, but when I got done drawing the face, the mouth looked like this. She looks like she's gonna sprout a goatee. At this point, I panicked, and for some reason, I thought adding teeth would help. Nope. So I took out my gouache and I frantically started painting over and redrawing these lines again and again and again. And in general, this is my struggle with drawing and painting, and it's why I haven't drawn or painted anything in a while. I make one mistake and it feels like the whole thing is ruined. It's so demotivating to work so hard only to have something go wrong, like the slip of a pen. Finally, I gave up on trying to fix it and just committed to finish the painting as best I could instead of trashing the entire thing or starting over. And this last butterfly came along just fine, no hiccups. I wanted the illustrations to have an old and worn look, and so I put some brown paint all around the edges to add a bit of weathering. When coloring the first 2 butterflies, I tried using analogous colors, which are colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. For the last butterfly, I tried using a triad color scheme, which are colors that are evenly spaced around the color wheel. After they were finished, I cut the paintings down so they wouldn't poke out from beneath the frames. I placed the illustrations beneath the frames and then made marks around the edges. Then I used my rotary cutter, a ruler, and my cutting mat to finish them off. For mounting these, I plan to attach the frames and illustrations to the wall separately, so I can put the illustrations in a different frame or use different illustrations in the frames if I want. But you could glue them together if you don't mind a permanent fix. And I'm actually really pleased with how these came out, even Little Miss Crazy Lip.